All right, welcome everyone. Today's presentation is going to be amazing. We've got so many things to share. We have great guests on this call today. So this is all about that video shortcut and how to get prospects sold before you even enter the room. Now, if you've been with us for more than 15 minutes, you have heard Erin and the rest of the team talk about the founder's video and why it's so important to have it in your practice. Because it's all about being able to tell your story in a succinct way that showcases you've been through some things. There are some catalyst moments that made you the advisor that you are today. And rather than having to go through that story over and over and over, using video is very powerful. And I'm sure you've seen other students who do really well with video, and you've seen other advisors on YouTube who suddenly feel like they've gone viral overnight. And it doesn't work like that. You have to put the work in. You have to put the videos out there. You have to put yourself out there, and it does work. It's just a little slow, but you have to commit to it. And it's not as hard as you think. And that's the whole thing about today. So as a student in the Advisor Authority, you've heard so many things. You understand that video's got to work, but you're probably reaching that point where a lot of us reach. That's, I have an idea. I need to get this recorded. I need to, but you somehow fall a little short of that. Well, today we're going to take some of those myths away of what's so difficult about it. And I am joined by Laura Garfield, the co-founder of Idea Decanter. And she is going to walk us through all the different things that make video so powerful and much easier than you think. So I'm going to hand this over. We also have a guest on the call who is one of our students. You've probably seen her in some of the community posts in the Botsford Buds group and all the other things and on calls. So Michelle's going to share her story and her video and how all of this has come together for her. But enough about me and that. I want to introduce Laura from Idea Decanter. Laura, tell us all about what you got for us today.
Blake, thank you so much for having me here. As my mother-in-law would say, shoulda, woulda, coulda. If you are thinking this is something I need to get done, we can relate because at Idea Decanter, we hear that all of the time. We actually built a whole business around knowing that you needed to do this and helping you get it done, taking you from kind of ideation into, hey, this evergreen video, your founder's story is complete and you can use it for a long, long time. And so, as a little bit of background, I am co-founder of Idea Decanter. It's a remote video marketing company built specifically for financial advisors. We have a very special relationship with Blake and Erin and the Advisor Authority team because, as you've heard before, this is such a foundational piece of what you're learning in the Advisor Authority. And so we're just there to help you get the dang thing done, which is exactly why we invited Michelle here today, because she got the dang thing done. We're so proud of her. We're thrilled to have been a part of her project. But Michelle, can you give us a little background about your journey through the Advisor Authority and working with Idea Decanter?
Yes, when I joined Advisor Authority a couple of years ago, Erin just excited me about being in business. I've been in the business for a long time, and it was that second wind. And all that she teaches her students or participants, it just made sense to me, especially in this virtual world that we find ourselves in. We have to rethink how we're going to put ourselves out there. And so it didn't take long for me to be convinced that I needed that founder's video. Erin's testimony about what brought her into the industry and what motivates her with her personal story is something I've been doing for so many years in person with people as I meet them, talking about who was my biggest influence. That was my grandfather, my grandparents both, but my grandfather who spoke into me, and just the wisdom that he shared with me so long ago. Simple, but the world we live in today is complex, and so I just want to help people that need to as being a practitioner, I want to be here to help people simplify the complex. And so Erin's whole program has helped me just get realigned, excited again. And almost immediately, I journeyed to get this founder's video done, and Idea Decanter was my choice. The team that the person you meet from the very beginning, the onset, all the way through to the end product, just like Erin teaches, You have a great story, you're very motivating, and you have a process in place that really helped me get through it and get over any obstacles or fears that I might have had, or just the complexities of putting a video together. It was not difficult, and it was fun as well. So,
So
yeah, thank you
I
so much.
I was just
Mhm.
going to say, so to recap that timeline, it's you had this story you were telling over and over in person. Then you joined the Advisor Authority and started to hear from Erin the power of not just telling it in person, but also recording it in video. And then we helped you get it done. Blake, is that a progression you see a lot with Advisor Authority students?
Yeah, we look at the whole idea of being able to succinctly tell your story so you can show that you've gone through some things and that you're not just, hey, I woke up one day, I was going to be an advisor, and now I'm your advisor. You know, people can't really
Mm.
connect with that. But the whole idea of using video, it's really twofold. And this is why it's such a great relationship with you guys. Because one, when you get it on video, then you don't have to worry about saying it the right way every single time. Huge. So it saves you time, effort, and frustration. And two, if you can get comfortable with video, it's a huge marketing platform. It can help you out incredibly. So it kind of helps when we want you to put together your founder story and make a video and then use it and hopefully get that comfort and confidence to then make other videos and connect with Laura and iDecanter and all the other things to try to put together like a timeline and what you're going to do. And you will see that your efforts and telling your story and being out there have really helped you 10, 20, 100 fold.
Well, I want to add a reality check to that because, as you mentioned, Blake, this can just be an entry point to even more video marketing, or it can be a standalone project. At Idea Decanter, we were really curious about collecting some data behind how financial advisors are using video in 2026, because really there isn't a lot of data out there specifically for our industry. And what we found stunned us because we've been doing this since 2014. But of the financial advisors who responded to this survey, 52% of them are using video. And even more surprisingly, 88% of them said they should be creating videos. So I don't know who those 12% outliers are, maybe just people who really hate their phones and aren't adopters of video, or we hear a lot, I have a face for radio. We all have those fears inside of us, but there are really interesting insights in this gap between that 52% and this 88%. So, you think you should be doing video, but you aren't yet doing it. And this number is also something that stood out to our team as we evaluated the survey results, and it was that 73% of advisors agree that video is worth the investment. And you can see those strongly agree numbers, the agrees and the neutrals, and those disagrees are almost non-existent. So the takeaway for me here is that the cost of waiting isn't no video. It's not that I don't have a founder story. It's that your prospects are out there forming opinions of you without you. And then they might be choosing someone else. Some of the reasons that we have heard over the years from advisors, besides the I have a face for radio excuse, is that, I'll look dumb, or I'll hate watching myself, or, I might mess it up. This feels like it's too heavy. This is too important, making my founder story, for it to be wrong. Or, advisors overcomplicate it, thinking that video requires a studio and lights and perfection and a big crew and a ton of time. There's also what I love to refer to as the business prevention department or your compliance department.
Mhm.
But when it comes to creating your founder story, oftentimes the fears of like getting it through compliance approval are just unfounded because you're telling a personal story. You're not sharing any kind of guarantees or promises that compliance would have problems with. You're telling stories. And then there's the investment hesitation. even though there is a large upside, the idea of having to spend money on the project is immediate. And so what we found in the survey to be interesting is that the money, the cost of creating video was actually the lowest rated barrier of those things we asked advisors about. And so the things on top were, I don't have the ideas, or what we hear a lot with advisors with founder stories is, I don't have anything as inspirational or foundational or transformational like Erin did. I don't have that story, so I don't know what to talk about. There's also the time factor, and it can feel like, I am a financial advisor. I have clients to deal with. There is so much on my plate. I don't have time for this. There's also I'm not a video production person. Like, I don't know the technical pieces of it. And that can be daunting, especially with something as important as a founder's story. And that 35% is, I don't know what to do with it once the video is done. The idea of sharing it, of getting it out there, of using it the right way is daunting to me. And we're going to cover all of this and talk about how Michelle got it done, talk about different ways that you can get it done. But I'm curious, before we do a big reveal and share Michelle's video, Michelle, what were your hesitations, knowing that you had the story that you told and hearing Erin say, you should do that on video?
Oh boy, all those top three on the line, on the top line, the money wasn't an issue. Investing in my business is always makes sense to me. So that was less of an issue for me. And it seems like my peers are the same. But it was, the idea, I knew I had a story, but how do I tell it? And just the time, that was huge. Where am I going to find time? And then also, the whole process of recording a video. When I jumped in, I didn't even really fully understand how that would get done. And I was so pleasantly surprised to find out how you guys handle that. Because I thought, am I going to go to their studio? Or are they going to come here and have people record? It seemed really complicated. But as I engaged with Idea Decanter and jumped into your process, those concerns were overcome as we moved through it. And it was a wonderful, experience for me. And it makes me more confident about any more video content that I want to create. So I was taught a lot in the process as well. So if we think about the impact we want to have on our clients and our processes and helping them overcome their fears, you guys do exactly the same when it comes to video content. You guys are excellent at what you do. And so my hesitations, my fears were overcome as I engaged and just trusted the process. It was clear to me that you guys had a process to start with. So, yeah.
I like to say, if you have said something more than 3 times, it's time to record a video saying it. And I mean, there's nothing more true about that than your founder's story, because that was something you were sitting down, sharing with prospects over and over and over. And the value of, Blake mentioned this earlier, the value of doing it in a story that's scripted and getting it right is tenfold, because you don't just get to use that video asset over and over. You also are training yourself in how to tell that story succinctly and get around to kind of the point of the story. And we've worked with so many advisors who have said, this has actually changed the way I speak with my prospects. Yes. Because I can whip this story out anytime, because I've rehearsed it, I've delivered it, and now I feel like I own it.
I would agree that it's had that impact on me as well. Yeah, even just talking to my friends about my business and my centers of influence. Blake knows when Erin teaches what's your response for what do you do? As I'm mingling in my community and such. I own a financial services business. And truly, this is a business I'm trying to attract people into that will resonate with my story. And the more I get it down, it's easy for me to tell it at this point because it's my story. But you most certainly helped me put it in a format and even helped me add even more than what I was telling before. That was important to my story that I wasn't talking about before. And that was my performing arts experience and my dance experience, and how you guys were so creative in helping me use that in my script. It just was a blend of what I was so passionate about early on in before I came into this industry, and combining it with the largest influence that I've ever had in my life was my grandfather, and how he spoke to me about finance, and just marrying those two things into this wonderful story. It even got me choked up, but just to be able to tell that it's true. You begin to put it through a more organized lens. There's a psychology behind it. And Erin talks about that a lot too when she's teaching. There's a psychology behind this. And I believe that about this experience as well.
Yeah, I think that's what's so interesting is that it's such a beautiful kind of unraveling. And a lot of advisors say, oh, well, I don't have a story. I don't have this. I don't have that. I was never this way. So when they start to create something where they think they're going to write out their story, it ends up just being how they achieve the credentials they have. And it doesn't resonate with, well, really anyone, even themselves. And when you work with a creative team like Laura's team about kind of fleshing out some of those catalyst moments that made you the advisor you are today, the influence comes in and you realize, wow, I didn't even know I had I really do. This really had a huge impact on me and why I do this. I just needed someone to help flesh that out. And I think that, Michelle, your point was really excellent a few minutes ago about once you've got your story written out and scripted and you read through it, you realize this is a much better way to tell my story. I'm going to do it this way from now on. And then it becomes second nature because it is yours. It's just worded differently. And then now it feels comfortable and yet really direct and precise. And it does what it needs to do and people get it and it resonates. So it's kind of like allowing you to speed up a little bit, put on some extra, bells and whistles, but doing it in such a way that people go, wow, that's a great story. And we all know that stories are what sells. It's not product or brochures or calendar charts or any of that stuff anyway.
It's truly what makes us memorable. I mean, I think about, Michelle, what you just said about being at a networking event and someone says, well, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a financial advisor. Or you say, my grandfather used to say, and you launch into that story. What do people remember about you? They remember how you make them feel. And I feel like that's a really good point to tee up your video. So put you on the spot and let's take a look at your founder story.
Some of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned came from my grandfather. He believed in keeping things simple. Know where you stand today. Plan for where you want to be. And always spend less than you make. That wisdom shaped how I see the world. And it's what drives me to help people like you navigate important financial decisions with confidence. His approach to money was methodical, yet effortless. Spend less than you make. Invest in your future. Plan ahead. He lived by those principles, and I saw firsthand how they shaped his legacy, not just in what he left behind, but in the way he approached life every day. That foundation led me here. I didn't set out to become a financial advisor. It found me. As a single mom looking for work, I stepped into this industry and quickly realized my natural curiosity aligned perfectly. Finance is multifaceted and complex, but I love breaking it down, making it simple, and helping people feel confident in their financial decisions. My career has unfolded much like the acts of a play. The first act was full of performing arts and learning discipline. The second was about raising a family and building a career I love. Now, in my third act, my focus is on legacy, my own, but more importantly, yours. Because legacy isn't just about the future, it's about the choices you make in the present. It's about being intentional, protecting what you've built, and guiding people you love. For me, that includes my 3 children, who are my greatest joy. The moments we share together, the values I pass down, that's what truly matters. At MDG Legacy Advisors, I walk this journey with you. Whether you're navigating a life transition, planning for retirement, wanting to protect what you've built, or defining your own legacy, I'm here to help you create a path forward. Now that you know a little about me, I'd love to learn more about you, your story, your goals, and how we can work together to bring your vision to life.
Michelle, thank you for letting me share that. And I want to put you on the spot because so many of us feel nervous about stepping in front of the camera. I mean, I spent a decade in TV news on air, and every time I get a video from my team that they've edited for me to review, I cringe before I hit play. Like that is innate. You, the first chapter of your career, you were on stage in front of an audience. Can you relate to what I'm saying?
I can absolutely relate to what you're saying, because no matter how many years I performed, and you do all the work and you're standing behind that curtain because it was all live. You've practiced hours, trained hours. The curtain's about to pull up and it's nerve-wracking. It just truly is. And so once that curtain goes up, though, then all that work that you put into it starts to come out. And if it's, I don't know what it was like for you or what inspired you to be in front of the camera, but for me, it was my form of expression and without words. And so, yeah, it's nerve-wracking for anybody. Even, I mean, I danced for 20 plus years. I mean, all the way through, it was nerve-wracking. Yeah.
Blake, doesn't she look like a natural though in that video?
Well, and it's amazing because it feels like anybody who's watching this call and this video right now is thinking, wow, I would hire her to be my advisor, even though they're also advisors. And I think that the thing that they may be experiencing is, well, how do I get that? I want that. Like, that's the video production. Like, did she get this? And they might go technical. What parts go into making it all work? And so my invitation in that moment is to pull out of overthinking. And the easiest thing is just to reach out to Laura and the Idea to Cantor team and start getting those ideas on the paper. And they'll figure all that stuff out. But realizing just in that moment, right now, I can do a founder's video. I can do a story. I can make something that resonates just like Michelle's videos does for me, right? And so that's the thing. It's such a good presentation. It really is right there. Keeps you going on. You're engaged and looking at it and want to know what this third act is going to be all about. So really well done. And I'm sure the advisors listening to this right now and watching that video are like, oh man, how can I get some of that, right?
Well, I think it's also important to talk about what happens when that video is done. And Michelle, I'll put you on the spot again. Let's talk about that video was done. It's been done for months, right? You've had that.
Oh, it's been not quite a year, but
compliance approved up and released into the wild. Tell me what you did with it.
Oh boy, I immediately put it on my website, the homepage. You have a technical term for it, Laura, as we discussed the other day. But my website has a live component to it. And the video,
I like to call it a background video up at the top. This kind of silent motion.
So I posted immediately onto my website so that any visitors that come to the website, and that's our marketplace, right, will see that there. But I've also sent it out to all my clients and received wonderful feedback from them. I have a couple of clients who are my biggest cheerleaders. And I know when they've been talking about me because they get all kinds of inquiries the next day on behalf of their friends. And I've said, well, to my client, rather than being that intermediary, why don't you jump on my website and send them the link and they can see what I'm about and then contact me either through you or through my website. So just using it to personalize it or humanize it, not just a website. But there I am. You can see what I'm about before you even pick up the phone and have a conversation with me. So I do have my clients out there, and I think I could do a better job of repeating that and getting that out more. I've recently used it in my hiring process for an admin so that whoever is interested in interviewing with me knows what we're about here at the end of the day. And for those candidates that received the video, they were just very thrilled to become a part of this group here. So I'm using it to attract talent. Might even use it for my succession plan at some point, but just you want to come be a part of this and ultimately take it on to the next level. But I'm yet to engage and starting to engage with my professional LinkedIn, adding it there. But just campaigning using it with my centers of influence and clientele. And then when I have a prospect, we send off just an intro message along with a link to the video in our website. So I'm always encouraging people to go to my website and take a look at what we're about, starting with the video.
So let's pause for just a moment because I want everybody to pay attention. This one thing that you built that was done really well and tells your story, it is now a recruiting tool. It is now getting you referrals. It is now working while you're asleep because it's being shared other places. It's now wowing your current book of clients into, hey, I had no idea really how to describe who you are and what you do, but now I do. So I send it to these people and now they want to talk to you. It's doing all this work for you. And when we talk to you, advisors on the call right now, you want this, that, and that. And this one video is checking a lot of those boxes.
Yeah, and I have picked up 5 new clients already this calendar year, and they all received it. I don't know how big of an influence it was in their decision, but I don't think it's an accident that they've all become my clients.
Yep.
So yeah. And they all represent client referral community that I'm in, reaching out to me. And so yeah, I'm excited to use it more and more.
Well, I love to hear your results story, and for you and the audience watching and wondering how she did it, I want to share the system Michelle walked through. And we call it the CPT, the create, promote, and track process. And the create is the coming up with the story, and the promote is pushing it out, and the track is tracking the results. So digging a little more deeply into the create, like, how do you do that remotely? How do you do that without a crew coming into your office and taking up days of your life? What happens is that our team sends you a gear kit that works around an app for our remote studio that you download to your phone. And so in that top picture, it's pretty tiny, but there's a yellow phone in that clip on the stand. And all of this is happening through an app on your phone. You are not DIYing this video, however, you are getting guidance. So once you get the gear, you are working with your producer to share, to be interviewed, basically, to answer questions for them so that they can help identify what key pieces of your life really fit into this story. And then they take that information and write your script for you in your voice. And you'll get that back and have a chance to pass it through compliance before you ever go to record. You have a practice session in the app, which is kind of the bottom right picture, where one of our performance coaches gives you a call and gives you a code to join the remote studio. And when you get in, you can see them and they can see you. And they help you set up the shot and get the lighting right Michelle was standing in front of a beautifully styled bookcase. It looked like a high-end backdrop. And it didn't detract, it just sort of added something to how you felt as you listened to her story. Your coach also is helping with your guided B-roll session. So you saw some shots of Michelle working with her team, sitting at her desk, answering calls. All of that happens with the help of this coach who can make sure everything looks great and sounds great. And what makes it super simple is that you are not required to memorize your story. There is a teleprompter built into this app. And so your coach is running that for you and giving you some performance feedback. It might be, Blake, great job on that take. Let's go back and do this again and pretend you're reading me a bedtime story this time. Or make sure you're smiling on that last sentence because that is so important. That's the last time they're seeing your face. As soon as that call is over, we pull the clips into the cloud off your phone and take care of all of the editing, deliver a draft to you. There are a couple of rounds of re-edits baked in. So if Michelle said, hey, I want, a couple more pictures of my grandfather in there, here's some more pictures. Those get added. And then we have you pass it through your compliance team and they can give the seal of approval. And then it is ready to release to the world. And as we talked about with Michelle's video, there are a lot of things she's doing with it. And I wanted to kind of share with you a visual of that so you could think about all of the steps you can take with a video. You can put it on YouTube. That's what Michelle is using to host her video. Some websites you can also host on the back end. So if your founder's video is the only video you're planning to do, you can consider skipping step one. But if you are thinking, maybe I'll create more content, using YouTube as your video library is a great idea because it is the second most popular search engine after Google. It is owned by Google, and it is a great place to build your video footprint. Then find a way to plug it into your website, like you saw Michelle's founder story, above the fold, right below the hero spot, easy to find. When you hit her website, you're not going to miss that video. Also sharing it out on social, direct uploading it and featuring it on your profile on LinkedIn, if your audience is there, can be really valuable. And then finally, putting it into email. Michelle mentioned putting it in front of a prospect before her first meeting. Her process is almost entirely virtual. Most of those first meetings are happening over, a Zoom just like this. So giving them a reminder the day before, like, hey, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 11. Here's the link for that. I'll be asking a lot of questions about you. Before that meeting, I wanted to share a little bit about me. Here's a video. And when advisors do that, what we hear over and over is that prospects come into that first meeting saying, I feel like I already know you. Because after watching Michelle's video, I wouldn't be surprised if you're feeling like you know her pretty well. So the video, that one founder story, really can turn into this utility player for you, where your goal isn't to go viral. It's not to get a gazillion views. The goal is to clarify for your prospects who you are and that you are a right fit.
Yeah, that's definitely huge. And I think the thing that all advisors want to kind of get through is the idea that if I do this right, and I do it the first time, and I work with a team who can support me so it's not scary or arduous or time consuming or all these things, right? Then I can use it. And I want to get to the end. I want to get it ready and have it sent out. It's just the hurdles coming over. So what I love is that you guys have a process together where as the advisor, I don't have to spend $3,000 to $5,000 and have a crew come out for a whole day and do things and ruin my office and all that stuff. You just like, hey, here's what we're going to do it. This, and this are going to get done. We're going to coach you through all this stuff. It's going to take care of everything. And then on the back end, we're going to do all the edits and all the B-roll for you. So all you really do is shine. We'll coach you through some of the moments we want to make a little bit better or a little bit different. And then at the end, we'll deliver you the best version of you and your story on video. And then we'll show you how to use it. And I think that there's so much done for you in what you guys do for us that it feels like a no-brainer to just connect and try to figure out what are the next steps to have my video come to life with you guys.
Michelle, if you were to take yourself back 14 months on the calendar to before you ever launched into this founder's video process, if you can put yourself in that mindset of someone who hasn't done this yet, what would be your parting words of advice?
I don't know if I can put myself there because I've moved on and I've experienced
Now you're thinking
so
about the
much
future.
change. I mean, I really am, but I think the best advice I can give anybody, especially those of us in the Botsford group, just do it. Just do it. The process is there. And it's easy to navigate through, and you have the great coaching. Don't be afraid of the technical side of putting this video together, and telling our stories is very important. We want to motivate people to take that leap with us. We're dealing with very serious issues and topics and such. Don't let this video making get in your way or take unnecessary time, even trying to, convince yourself, just do it, the Nike swoosh, just do it. It really, it helps in so many different ways, to attract people to you, the right people to you. I find I waste so much less time. Is that grammatically correct? I do not waste any time anymore. It's just, this is who I am. This is who we are here. This is what we are this is your experience with us. And if that resonates with you, great, give us a call. We don't have these strange inquiries anymore. It's getting reduced. So time is important for all of us, and by doing this, we will use our time more effectively and get our stories out there more effectively. And, I think attract the right people to build our business. Just do it. Just do it.
Well, as you think about the future facing Michelle, I wanted to share this one last piece from the State of Advisor video report. And I know this is a little hard to read, but the quadrants here are what matter. And this came out of the survey response. And we basically laid out where advisors wanted to go with video in the next 12 months. And the lower left, they're dreaming about it. And above that, they're experimenting with it, trying to figure it out. The bottom right, you might be feeling stuck. These barriers are getting in my way. And then the top right, that's where the success is found. And those are the strategic producers. And that's, Michelle, where you are sitting today, because you produced your founder story. So I ask you, as you're watching this, where would you put yourself? And if you're thinking, hey, I'd like to be in the same quadrant as Michelle, we have a QR code for you. And this will take you to a video growth call. Make sure you mention the Advisor Authority, because we have a special offer for you, and we will know exactly the kind of video you want to create because we understand the training you have gone through. This is for you if you would like to find out more about how to create a video like Michelle, or if you've created some content and feel like you could take it to the next level. So the QR code takes you to a Calendly link where you can schedule with Sam, our client quarterback. I highly encourage you to stop letting those barriers get in your way. And as Michelle said, follow Nike's advice and just do it.
I mean, I'm supposed to close this out, but I don't know how I'm going to finish. Like, that was so good. Like, just do it. And I think that's really, really key. When you guys saw those quadrants, and one of the things that you might might have seen in yourself is that I did some video and I experimented a little bit, and now I immediately got stuck because I don't know what to do with it and I don't think it was good enough. And so I just stopped. And if you've ever made a video years ago and you know it's somewhere in one of those hard drives in your office, but you don't know what to do and how to do more, this is perfect for you, because scheduling a video call with Laura and Sam and the team and what they do, and to showcase, here's how we can help you. Let's break down your story and what that all looks like. It just gives you permission. And I think that, Laura, you said this before in other calls, that like, this is not really a production problem. This is a permission slip. You have the opportunity to create something and tell your story and get out there. And this is the invitation to do that, because they're going to take the production and all the things that you've made bigger and put in your way. They're just going to take that away, and they're going to focus on you and your story. So all you have to do is say it and shine and be it, and everything else will come into pieces and all the place, and they will help you with all that marketing and, you know, making that story work for you. So I highly recommend you use the QR code, go to ideatocantor.com, connect with Sam and Laura and the team and everyone. You guys can always reach out if you have questions from us as well, but we are super proud to be partners and can help each other back and forth with, you know, helping advisors reach their next level goals through training and video and all the things in between. So thank you so much for joining us today. Michelle, especially, thank you so much for sharing your story and your video and just who you are. And Laura, as always, you're a gem. So if you guys have any questions, we can get back together and do more things. We look forward to helping you guys excel, advance, and rise to the next best occasion. Thank you, guys.